Nigeria has a diverse mining sector made up of high-value commodities with over 44 mineral deposits in over 500 locations across the 36 states, including the Federal Capital Territory. But these minerals deposited across the country and have not been fully explored due to a myriad of challenges. In 2015, the federal government, through the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development, identified 7 strategic minerals, namely coal, bitumen, limestone, iron ore, pyrites, gold, and lead and zinc. For priority development in the bid to revive the mining sector and unlock the potential and diversify the economy away from crude oil. Despite the widespread economic impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, the mining sector exceeded budgeted revenue of the federal government in 2020 by about 10%, amounting to 2.09 billion naira against 1.9 billion naira, increasing its contribution to the nation's gross domestic product GDP by 23% in 2020. With this impressive achievement, it is a clear fact that the mining sector can contribute immensely to the growth and development of the Nigerian economy. However, for these benefits to be seen, industry players are of the view that certain institutional, legislative, and operational bottlenecks need to be addressed to ensure the smooth operations of key players in the sector. To discuss this and, of course, more issues surrounding Nigeria's mining sector, I have no other person in the house. Is the Honorable Minister of Mines and Steels Development, Architect Olamilekon Adigbite. Good afternoon, Honorable Minister. Thank you for your time.
Good afternoon, and thank you. Good afternoon to the audience.
Yes, it's good to see you. Now, we've seen new moves by government and, of course, the ministry to establish a stronger extractive sector. And even with the announcement from the Vice President that about 6 billion has been approved for the development of mining clusters in 6 geopolitical zones of the country from the ESP funds made available. Now, how much of a stimulant do you think this would go and in turn catalyze the growth of the sector away from the slowdown due to COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, this was a welcome relief. This fund was actually meant to be a post-COVID-19 relief measure. The sum of 6 billion naira was released to have intervention projects, one in each of the 6 geographical zones in Nigeria. And essentially, we've chosen what's most appropriate in each zone is to enhance and deepen the activity of miners and also to add value. I'll give you an example. For instance, in the northwest, we chose Kano because of it's been part of the West African gold trade from ancient times. So we chose Kano for our gold souk. We are building a gold souk in Kano as part of that intervention project. Essentially, what this does is to enhance the value of gold. We lose a lot of value from our gold when we export them in the raw form, mostly to the UAE, and they had value and they sell the same quantum of gold to us, multiple cost. So what we're doing in Kano essentially is to train goldsmiths, to train our people to add value to gold from its raw form so that they can turn it into jewelry and all that. That's the intervention in Kano. The intervention in the northeastern region, we chose Bauchi for kaolin. There's plenty of kaolin in Bauchi, but in Nigeria, we import a lot of kaolin into the paint industry, into the pharmaceutical industry, because the kaolin produced in Nigeria is exported in the raw form. So the intervention we're having is we have a processing plant for kaolin in Bauchi. We process the kaolin, and then we can satisfy the local market and, of course, also export. Those are the kind of intervention. We have another one in the southwest, and that's the gemstone market in Ibadan. We are formalizing that, we are developing that, and we're enhancing value. All these intervention projects is to create value within the country that is down the line of the minerals. By that, we are creating jobs, we're adding revenue to government, and of course, fulfilling our mandate that Mr. President has given us. That's essentially what we're doing in brief. But of course, it's already beginning to yield fruits because we are doing barite in the south-south, we are doing lead zinc in the southeast. And of course, we're also doing gold in the north-central, which is based in Kogi. So those are the 6 intervention projects that we're having, which is part of the post-COVID palliative.
that for many analysts, Nigeria's extractive industry, well, they say it's not properly been explored. Nigeria is the 12th largest iron ore deposit, or has that in the world, more than 3 billion tons. Besides, the Nigerian Geological Survey Agency has confirmed that Nigeria has over 44 mineral deposits in commercial quantities in over 500 locations across the 36 states. Now, what exactly does the move by the federal government to establish a geodata center, which would help ease online access to appropriate geological reports and data, translate to in real economic terms? You've been talking very much about data.
Well, data, that's all mining is all about. Mining is about information, having the correct data about the minerals you're interested in. We go around every year. We go to all these mining jurisdictions. There's Indaba in South Africa, PDAC in Canada, African Downwater in Australia. What we go to do at this fora is to sell our data to the public at those events. That, look, we have this, and this is data. But what we are doing with the geodata center that we're establishing is we will still continue with this marketing, but more importantly, whether for follow-up, for research, or for even business interest, people can, from the comfort of their homes, from the comfort of their offices, they can access the database in Nigeria. Of course, this will be subjected to certain protocols. There are some data that you can get free. If you go deeper, some data you have to pay for. But the advantage of the data center is that, well, even when we're not marketing, people can access the data of mining in Nigeria, and this will lead to informed decision whether they want to come into Nigeria to invest or for research purposes, maybe they're doing a paper. So it's a welcome thing that this government of PMB, President Muhammadu Buhari, is doing. By establishing that geodata center, it puts Nigeria in a vantage position to attract the right investment to the country. And of course, we keep saying foreign investment. Also, this is also for local investors, because they can also access such data and then get more Nigerians interested in investing in mining.
Well, yes, let me follow up with staying with iron. Are we also checking the influx of maybe some substandard sheets coming into the country? What's government doing to also encourage more local production, Honorable Minister?
Well, we have quite a number of companies producing steel in Nigeria on the private, not in the kind of quantum if our Jakarta were to be functioning. As per influx of substandard products, that's within the purview of a standard organization of Nigeria, and we are collaborating with them constantly. It was in the news just 2-3 weeks ago. A particular set of products from a company in Ikorodu was intercepted, was adjudged to be substandard, and of course, it was condemned as such. Same thing when, as they come into Nigeria, standard organization is they are present at all ports of entry. They ascertain that of these steel products and of any product standard to enter Nigeria. Even so, the one I was talking about is a locally produced product, which of course they intercepted and of course advise the company on what to do. The products are sent back to the company. The good thing about steel is that they can melt it down and do what is right to produce the right standard of steel for the market.
Now, let's look at our trading pattern of our minerals now being mined, and how would you say we're faring on the global commodities market?
Well, Nigeria used to be a mining jurisdiction, and we are reckoned as such. Gone were the days when Nigeria was listed on the London Metal Exchange and all that. But since the advent of oil, we shifted our focus away from mining. So we are just trying to get back on track, being taken as a mining jurisdiction all over the world. But one pleasant news, just about 2 weeks ago, one of the companies operating in Nigeria, Segilola Gold Resources, which of course is being operated by Thor Exploration, is a Canadian company. They were listed on the London Stock Exchange. This company is listed on the Toronto Exchange, but they've come closer to home. They are now listed on the London Stock Exchange. So their products and all that, this is positive news for Nigeria, because Nigeria is coming back on the international exchange for our commodities. This is gold. We'll soon follow with tin. We can follow with lead, zinc, and of course all other products. So yeah, it's a step in the right direction.
Now, Honorable Minister, let's tilt our conversation to value addition and strategies with regards to a stronger leverage on technology. How do you see this affecting the future of mining in Nigeria's space versus successes and prospects on the global front?
Well, your first question sort of tallies with this.
Yes.
The intervention we are doing, that I told you about the 6 regional projects, is actually value addition. We realize that Nigeria loses a lot of value, not just in terms of the money realizable, in terms of jobs that we export with our raw ores. For instance, when we mine gold in Nigeria, we'll take in the door form to Dubai. And of course, for instance, quantum of gold worth about 1 million naira. The same quantum of gold is manipulated with skills into jewelry and all that. And we go back to buy the same quantum of gold for about 20 million naira. So you can see all that jobs, value, money has been exported out. And that is why we're creating this gold souk in Kano and the gold smelting plant in Kogi State, so that we can retain such values. We can make our jewelry locally and all that. So value addition is the main thrust of this intervention project in the 6 zones. Same thing with Ibadan. We have a lot of gemstones. People come from all over the world to buy our gemstones. But Nigeria is not recognized. When these stones are taken abroad, they are cut into shapes, they are polished, and they are sold for exorbitant prices. You know, when you sell the stones on jewelry, when you sell them on your watches, when you sell them on your rings, they sell for a higher value. By creating that gemstone market in Ibadan, we are also creating a facility center where the gemstones, instead of just buying them in the raw form, you buy the cut stones, polished ones, and we can add value, we can create jobs. So essentially, this is what we're doing, value addition. In all intervention projects, the 6 of them, it's value addition, so that we can retain the jobs here, we can retain the value locally. Thank you.
Now, as part of issues the sector is dealing with is the report of multiplicity of taxes and harassment of licensed miners and their staff, as well as closure of mining sites by some state governments. Now, these reports are really disincentives to investors. Your ministry, in its own intervention to state of security, has called for partnership between the ministry and security agencies to help sanitize the sector. What new interfaces or engagements do you expect from this call?
Well, just last week, we had for the first time an interface with the 774 local governments in Nigeria. This was supposed to be done regionally in a physical form. Well, because of the present situation in Nigeria with the COVID-19 pandemic, we had it on Zoom. So we engaged the old 774. The whole idea was to rub minds with the state government, with the local government operatives, to let them know that, look, by enhancing the work of the federal government, they are benefiting at the same time. It's because mining is the exclusive jurisdiction of the federal government. By helping us to achieve the desired goal, they benefit. There's 13% derivation. Then apart from the derivation, which every state will get, and of course, consequently, the local government will get that, we also will create every mining event in any jurisdiction will create value to that area. Apart from the CSR, corporate social responsibility of those mining companies, the infrastructure to the mining site benefits the community. The mining operation, of course, employs from the community. So by cooperating with government and allowing investors to breathe properly, they will also benefit ultimately. I can understand every government at whatever level wants to, of course, deliver dividend of democracy, and this is based on dividend. But we're trying to let them understand that you cannot bite your nose to spite your face. Let us cooperate with the federal government. We'll bake a bigger pie, and everybody gets a better revenue thereby.
Now, Minister, what sort of rule of engagements are the states calling for to help strengthening all of this, talking about relationship between the federal government and the state to strengthen the mining sector and, of course, increase proceeds? What sort of conversations are they looking at?
Well, the Mining Act, actually, the Mining Act of 2007, which is what we're operating currently, established what we call MIREMCO. This MIREMCO is a body established by that act, where the chairman of that body is, of course, nominated by the governor of the state. Essentially, what this body does is it stands as a go-between with the federal government the state government, the local government, and the miners, whoever the business people are. This is where the government can partake, because the governor, of course, chooses the chairman of Miremco. The local government is represented in Miremco. Business people are represented in Miremco, like the local chamber of commerce. This is an interplay where everybody comes together, and all mining issues emanating from any state is referred to that body called Miremco. So this body actually, it's a body that we need to publicize more, and of course enhance the more. The government, the federal government has a role to play. We equip them with vehicles, we equip them with offices and all that. The state government has a role to play as well, and the local government in enhancing this body so they can perform very well. If everybody participates in this body, they understand their role, and then they can see clearly the value that will come to them. Because Miremco can monitor as the miner comes in, what they do, if they are doing it right, if they are doing it wrongly, if they are not sticking to the agreement. Because before you can mine, you must always call the CDA, Community Development Agreement. This CDA is like a Bible. It must be adhered to by both parties, by the mining company and by the host community. Those things that are agreed that you must provide for them, apart from CSR, these are coded things that you must provide for the community. And of course, it's signed. So everybody can make sure that things are going on well between the mining company, the host community, and everybody is doing what is due to them. So more and more, we are making the states and of course the local government administration to be aware of Miremco, and they can channel all their efforts through Miremco to achieving the desired objective.
Almost finally, Minister, the ministry has also embarked on an airborne geophysical survey activity across some states. Can you shed more light on what this implies?
Well, this is a World Bank supported project. Like I told you, mining is all about data, data, and data. We can never exhaust data gathering. So this is another form of extending the data that we already have. We are bringing in special planes. We're already sensitizing people, because these are very small planes that will be flying at low altitude. Given the current situation in Nigeria, where everybody's afraid, it might cause panic, because these aeroplanes, you will see them very clearly. They'll be flying at low altitudes, and they can be over an area for a long time. They're going to cover the 19 states in almost 2 years. So you can imagine, wherever they're flying, they're going to be in that area, gathering information, circling at low altitude for long. So that's why we are telling our people, please do not panic. When you see these aeroplanes, they are doing their work. We've got all the security agencies involved before they can fly. The Nigerian Air Force is on every plane that flies. There's a personnel of the Nigerian Air Force on that plane to make sure they're doing the right thing. They don't go into restricted areas. So essentially, what we're doing with this is to gather more data for the sector. So it's something that will be starting soon. We'll be going around. We've been sending out jingles on radios and TV. We've printed some leaflets in different languages to tell our people that, yes, this will be occurring, and do not panic. Thank you on that.
All right, before I let you go, Honorable Minister, let's now look at forecasts and, of course, revenue projections as we move in 2021, and also prospects for even business, or how do I put it, manufacturers in this sector, players in this sector, Nigerian local players. What more will be done to make this environment more conducive for them, and what are the projections for the sector?
Well, the future is bright. Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari has said that, look, he would like to diversify the economy of this country through mining and agriculture. So the future is bright. This is the right time for investors to come in. We've been encouraging a lot of foreign investors, but then we should not lose focus that, look, there are people with the right money, right amount of money in Nigeria that can come into the sector. So we are focusing also on local investors to come into the sector. We are giving them the facts and all that. And the intervention projects we are having in the 6 regions of the country, these are just pilot projects. And they are dealing with just about 4 or 5 minerals. We have 44 minerals. An investor can pick on a particular mineral and develop it to industrial level, so that you do import substitution, you create jobs, and you make money for yourself. There are so many. Lead zinc now, we cannot even produce enough lead zinc. Recently, some Chinese delegates, I hosted a Chinese ambassador in my office this morning. They come to us, they need more lead zinc from Nigeria. So we are not even mining enough. We have it under there. more investors can come into that place. But more importantly, I want to see us, instead of taking our lead zinc as ours to China, let us develop it to the level where it's of industrial grade. Instead of exporting ours that we take to China now, we take to other countries. This is where investors can come in. You may not mine the lead zinc yourself, but bring in processing plants that will take this ore to the industrial grade that is useful directly. You make more money and it creates more value. So the future is bright. We need to encourage our people to come into mining as businessmen, put their money in mining. Mining, of course, is not like trading, where you put your money today and 6 months later you expect some result. People who come into mining will have some gestation period, and of course, it's something that you could build a generational wealth on, because mining could go on for the next 25 to 40 years. So what you put in today, you start reaping value, benefits from about 3 years, and it can last you for the next 40 to 100 years. So mining is not immediate gratification, but of course, you put your money in there, 3 to 5 years, returns will begin to come, and of course, you can have such returns for the next 40 to 100 years.
It's not for hot money. All right, Minister, incentives. Again, I'll follow up, just wrapping up. Incentives for local investors. Any more for them?
Oh, there are a lot of incentives. We have tax holidays. We have the fact that you can keep any foreign currency that you earn, because when you export, you earn foreign money. You can keep that for your own usage. There are so many, like I said, tax holiday. You have capital gains. There's so many incentives the government has put for investors, whether local or foreign, and people can benefit from this. So there are a lot of incentives, and of course, there are even newer things that are coming to the fore as we discussed. And of course, this will take to the appropriate channels, and they can grant to the will-be investors.
It's a good way to leave it there. Honorable Minister of Mines and Steel Development for Nigeria, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Architect Olamilekan Adegbite. Thank you very much for spending your afternoon with us. We really appreciate this.
Thank you so much, Tolu. It's a pleasure to come on your program all the time.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day.